Listen, if you're an online coach right now in 2025, believe me that what I'm gonna be uncovering with you, this system that I'm gonna be uncovering with you in this video, is something that you don't really want to miss. And I say this for a fact. I say this because this is the exact system I apply with my clients, the coaches I help, and this system allowed them to unlock over $4.2 million in revenue for the past 2 years. So I'm going to be really straightforward and really concise in the system, right? I'm going to be showing you exactly how to do every single step of the system, right? So without further ado, let's get into it, right? So first of all, we need to understand what the core problem is for online coaches, mainly in the fitness space. This also applies for coaches in any space, but mainly in the fitness space, which is the space that I'm really specialized in. This is what I see the most, right? So I see coaches, and mostly online coaches, right, starting from zero each month. I don't mean starting from the bottom, but starting from a non-predictable income. And this is maybe you, or maybe you were in this scenario back then. So they start with no predictable income, and that creates anxiety, frustration, and overwhelm. And that thing is what makes most of the coaches, and maybe also you, to build complex funnels, right? So complex funnels with websites, landing pages, emails, automations, webinar, VSLs, whatever. And this results in a lot of work, but few clients. And this is not what you really want and what you really need as an online coach. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to be uncovering what you can do if you simplify everything and you go step by step in each phase, so that you can unlock a system that lets you have a predictable income and a scalable system that you can replicate over and over again, and you can achieve maybe $5,000 to $6,000 a month really easily. And don't think that I'm just saying this for the sake of saying a number. I'm saying this because above 5 and 6K is when things change. So if you are not there yet, this video will really help you. And if you are there, not maybe now, but in 6 to 7 minutes, it will make a lot of sense for you, right? So what if you simplify what you're doing right now, right? So for this system, what I really encourage you to do is to have a system that has fewer parts. Fewer parts will mean more clarity, will mean that it's easier to scale, and also that the results, which is what you really want, will come faster. So if you have that system working, you will have different phases. So the first phase would be the strategic lead generation, right? So you need to generate leads, and you don't need a landing page, you don't need a sales page, a VSL for this. You can just launch a single and really easy reel on Instagram, right? So you can just launch a reel as an ad, right? So you put a reel that has different parts, right? It has a hook, then it has a body part 1, then it has a body part 2, then it has social proof, and then in the end it has a CTA. So how does it look? So the hook is what your potential customer wants, right? Then the body 1 is explaining the problem that potential customer has. The body 2 is showing the solution that you have for that problem, and then you will have the social proof part, where you will show that your clients are already utilizing what you are saying and they are making progress. So then it will make sense from them to just go to an ad and follow you, or take the decision to send you a message through Instagram ad, so that you can nurture that client, and in the last part of the cycle, just make them buy your product. So that this way you will make the organic content, you will make the reel look as an organic content, and the budget will be, you can start with $3 to $5 a day, don't worry about it, and you can scale up to 30 to 50 per reel, right? Once you achieve those 30 per 50 dollars spent in that reel, you don't need to worry about pushing that reel more. You just create another reel with this structure, and you replicate that with a different hook, right? Different hook number 2, and different social proof so that they can see that you are a coach that has a lot of clients, right? So here, the goal or the objective is to attract qualified followers. This is not just cold selling. This is attracting qualified followers so that you can make the prospect or your potential customer really resonate with you and really have trust within you. So this is really important. In 2025, people aren't buying coaching, right? They are buying coaches. They are buying you as a coach, not your system or your method. So the prospect or the potential customer needs to resonate with your content so that it can build trust, and that trust can then turn into a video call or sales call, right? And then you can just go through a sale. But this is like just an ideal world, but it doesn't happen that way all the time. So there's two things that can happen. It can happen that they just follow you, and if they follow you, they enter your ecosystem, and in a few seconds we will go into that ecosystem. So if they follow you, they enter your ecosystem, and you start to nurture those clients to sell your program. But if they ignore you, and this is the thing, most of the people don't really understand this part, but if they ignore you, you will have the Instagram algorithm finding someone else to replace that part in your content system. So don't really don't worry if you are spending, for example, 5 to 6 days attracting followers and you are not getting enough followers. Let the Facebook or the Meta Business Manager learning phase happen before the sale happens or the follow happens, so that it can have more data about your potential customer, right? So how does it work? It works this way, right? So you will go from the initial contact, right, to the successful sale. So how do you do that, right? You do this with this system. So you have an ad that we said before, right? We have an engagement ad to follow. Then if the person follows you, they interact with you. So we start the interaction. Then you or your setter is in the DMs direct messaging those potential customers. And if you are not lucky, but if you have a good system, you book a sales call, right? So that you or your closer can have a sales conversion, and then it can be turned into a client, right? So that's the system all in all, right? But what's the thing? That's the first phase, right? If we go right now, where is it? To the second phase, we will go into a phase where your content filters your ideal client. This is really important. You can't just post broad content about whatever. For example, if you are helping people shred fat, or if you are helping people have a more shredded body, for example, or lose fat, you can just talk about nutrition, training, or health. No, you need to be really, really niche down to that. So that way, your new follower sees more of your content. And if that's really niche down and you have a really good targeting in your meta ads, right, it will resonate. Let me use it. The potential customer will resonate with your message, and that way, what happens next is that the content cycle or the system will start working. So that way, if they are interested, they will either send you a DM, click the link on your bio, set your YouTube, landing page, whatever, or just your appointment setter reaches out. And this is really important. The last part, what I said about the appointment setter, this is really important. This is what most people don't do. Okay, so if they send you a DM, they start a conversation and they start to nurture the client. That's okay. If the person clicks the link in bio, they maybe go to your form, right? To your form, or maybe they go to a YouTube channel and they start being nurtured. That's okay. But the last part, is what people don't do. When someone follows you, you need to have your setter, or maybe you, if you don't have a setter, reaching out to that person with a very genuine question. If you want to know about this, I have a video in the channel also talking about the system, but you need to have your setter or you sending a genuine message to that person so that that person can resonate with your content, right? And then your content can make the person buy from you, and not you selling to that person, right? So that's really important. And in the last part of that cycle, they will book a call, and if they are qualified, they become a client, right? So that's the system. But how do we amplify that? So in order to amplify that, we need to make sure that the nurturing phase is really, really covered. So I'm sure that you've seen online, right? So there's funnels where there's attention, nurturing, and sale, right? So here is the attention part, here's the nurturing, here's the sale. Some people call this the top of the funnel, right? So this is the middle of the funnel, and this is the bottom of the funnel. This is like a very typical thing. But what's the problem? That most of the people go from the top of the funnel, which is, for example, having an ad sent to someone that wants to buy your product, straight to the bottom of the funnel. That doesn't work. You need to spend a lot of time here in the middle of the funnel, nurturing the person and providing value, because as I told you right now, in 2025, right, well, so in 2025, people aren't buying coaching. They are buying you as a coach. So that's why you need to spend a lot of time in the nurturing part. So this way, you will start to provide consistent value. And how do you do that, right? So to do that, you can do it in several ways, but you can do that with, with weekly reels, for example, right? Weekly reels with practical tips, for example, daily stories and soft CTAs. And these in the stories, really, really important. You need to implement story blocks, right? If you remember, and if you don't know what story blocks are a pile of Instagram stories that have a real thought purpose in order to make that person send you a word, so that your setter or you can start an interaction on the DM. So you will have a first story with a hook, then a second story presenting the solution, presenting the problem, right? Then you will present the solution in the next one. In the next one, you will have social proof. So for example, how people made a change with your program or with your system. And in the last one, you will have a CTA, and the CTA here will have a real purpose. This is really important, right? Another thing is that you can just post to build authority, maybe with your clients, or posting a carousel that's really valuable and relatable to your potential customer. Then you can also, as I told you, have one-on-ones on DMs, right? So this, you or your setter will do work. And something that people don't really use right now, which is long-form YouTube content. I'm not gonna be going like deep into this topic, because I have another video on the channel, because I upload videos every single week to this channel. So if you go to the channel, you can see plenty of videos talking exactly about different things. And in this case, there's one video where I talk about long form content, and especially YouTube. And it's really important to have YouTube long form content. You don't even need to have it public, but it's really important to have long form content in YouTube, because this way you can nurture the people more, and people can resonate more with you, so that in the last part of the cycle, they can book a call if they are warm enough, and then the sale will happen, right? So this is the third part of the phase, and let's go to the fourth part of the phase, but not before. Before saying how you can address to create those kind of content or reels or stories or whatever, right? So how do you do that? Because that's the problem most people have. So in order to do that, you need to recognize first the issues that your potential customer has. So you need to understand your ICP, your potential customer, very well. You need to recognize their common issues. For example, emotional hunger. If you are talking to people that want to lose fat, right? Then you create the reels addressing these exact problems. Then you post those reels, engage with your audience, start conversations, right, in the DM, and then you can gather that feedback and collect those responses in order to refine your content strategy. So this is really important. How do you create content that is really relatable to your potential customer? It's really easy. You see it here. It's just reverse engineering what's going on, right? So you need to identify the problem or the objections that your potential customer has, and just address them in a way that they can feel really relatable to those kind of problems, and to that content that addresses those problems, right? So with that being said, let's go to the last part of this system, which is the following, right? Which is the system. This is the old system that I told you, right? But this system has different numbers attached to it. So if you have a cost per follower, this is like the check marks you need to have, right? So if you have a cost per follower that is less than $1, you're okay. So if you do this, you need to aim for a revenue per follower around $30. How you calculate this $30? You calculate this because if you have, for example, a lifetime value of a client of $600, for example, lifetime value is the amount of money that a client lives in your business, right? So, for example, if you charge $400 per 3 months and you have a lifetime value of $600, that's gonna be around something like that to $30. So you don't need to worry about spending money on ads, where we said here in the first part of the funnel, because this money in ads, if you use all the system well, will be really covered by the money that your client is leaving in your business. So the goal for here, if you have a goal of going from 0 to 5,000, I'm not saying that you are in 0 right now, but if you want to go from your current situation that you are here, we are 60 minutes 30 seconds in this video. I can understand that if you are here, first of all, if you are here, you are my potential customer, right? But if you are here in this moment, you are way, way, way ahead of the rest of the people, and I'm sure that you just want to increase the amount of money you earn per month. So if you want to go through that, you need to use the flow we set, right? The follower, then nurture the follower, then go to a call, and then have a client. And this way, if you repeat this weekly, right, you will have, and this is really important, this is the main goal of the system, right? So you will have a consistent call pipeline that you or your closer can address. Then you will have, and this is the most important, a predictable revenue, and it is really scalable without doing launches, webinars, BSLs, or whatever. So don't spend all your money doing a really good landing page, or doing the best webinar you can, or maybe doing the best VSL you can. This, and let me tell you this from the part that I know, working with more than right now is more than 1,000 clients since 2019, that this is what people are not addressing right now in 2025, in the second part of 2025. And it's that people are just going, as I told you, from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel. But if you understand all this and you connect all these intersections that we have here, you will have a consistent call pipeline with sales calls. But the most important thing is that you will have a predictable revenue. So if you are making with this system, let's say $2,000 per month, in order to go to $4,000 per month, is just 2x the spend on ads, right? It's just going double in the spend of ads. And don't get me wrong, if you 10x the money on ads, you're not gonna be getting 10x results, because in meta ads we have a curve that starts to be flattened in some parts. So you need to be consistently not changing, but improving things with the system. But this is really the system, as I told you. This is the system, but now you need to implement this into your business, right? So the thing is that you connect with them, you understand them, and you give them certainty so that they can go to a call and then buy from you. That's really it. So back then, as I told you, people were doing like the old funnels. So they go from ads, let me see here, from ads to VSLs, to buttons, and maybe even sending emails. But right now, that's not working. It was working, and let me tell you, it was working in January 2025, but things evolved really quickly, and it is not working right now. So you need to have the attention layer conversation layer, neutral layer, and conversion layer ready to go, so that you can scale your system to whatever amount of money you want to make. And this can sound like as a bold statement, but it's true. You can scale this to whatever amount of money that you really want nowadays. So with that being said, that's it. I hope you find this really helpful. Somewhere in this video, it will appear another video of the channel recommended. So I'm sure that you can benefit from watching that. There's no CTAs here. If you want to work with me, you will find a way. There's no CTA in this video. And I guess if you subscribe, that's okay. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.